it's Guido. We've got some more Scout Week. We've made it at least to Thursday. We'll see how Friday goes. But today is Thursday and Friday is another day. But we do have a Scout match. This is an all tier 10 battle. No artillery, which is nice. That will affect a little bit of what I can do, or at least what I've got to be worried about. There is another Mana Corps and a T100 involved. And this time we are on a map that's it's hit or miss with Scout. It's not a horrible Scout map. There are some spots you can go to, some pretty decent ones, especially if you guys are hitting what you're lighting, all that kind of stuff. But the other side has basically a mirror image, and depending on how your Scouts operate on the other side, they can counter you pretty decently. In fact, they can sort of see your campers on the ridge, and you can sort of see their campers on the ridge, but neither one of you is really getting a huge advantage. What you're going to do, though, is you're going to pay attention to the other team. And what we're going to talk about here, even though this is not really a close match, is an example of map control and what you can do as a light tank, at least on this map, or really the concepts on any map, but this map in particular for this example, on how devastating map control can be. Vision control, map control, not necessarily exactly the same thing, but very closely aligned. All right, so we've spawned into the southwest here. Right off the bat, I'm going to go and show you a fairly forward bush. Again, this is not an absolutely amazing light tank map, but this bush is pretty good, at least for an opening move. You're probably going to have to leave it. I don't necessarily have to, and I actually get some nice follow-ups we're going to talk about as we go. But I am, of course, headed for this bush here. Now, here's the problem, one of the many problems. There is a line of sight as you go right around this corner for people who are YOLOing up into the castle. My T100 and their T100 are going to meet face to face, and we're able to keep their T100 back. And as long as they are hiding behind these buildings here and not getting close to the edge, you should be able to make this bush right here without getting lit. But I always kind of look that way to see if they've got dudes, fast guys crossing, because you might get countered trying to get into this other bush over here. Could be a safer bet to jump initially into this one right here, and then once you see what's going on up here, float around to there. But the other issue is if they own this castle, sometimes they'll poke around this corner and maybe see you moving around down here. So pay attention to the castle and what's going on. That may inform how much you can get away with here. And I actually took a bit of a chance because I don't know if he really had a line of sight or not. Let's see if we get him lit at all here, if we can get a highlight on him. I don't know. It was close, fellas. It was a bit close, and I think if he'd have pushed a little further forward, he might have seen me. It's still a decent distance, but he is a light tank with probably pretty good vision. So a bit of a chance there, but again, if you're worried about it, this row is better to start with. If you want to be a little more aggressive, this row is a little bit closer to the ridge, and that's why you want to get up into this spot. All right, so initially we get here. That's all hunky-dory. The counter bushes are obviously this one right here. Although that one's hard for the other side to get into. It's really this edge one because they can dive down if they get lit. And it's a very similar idea. They have some bushes here they can hang out in. They've got these. You could even get aggressive and try to come across, but I wouldn't. This is a bit of a no man's land right here where this farm is. All right, guys, so you probably don't want to be in this stuff. On this side, it is sometimes fun to come around the corner immediately and get into this row. The problem with this row here is if they come up and pop up here, it's pretty much proxy lighting distance, plus with the amount of burn through, you're going to get spotted. There's no artillery though, so that does inform that I do have an ability to dive down below the ridge and not be bombed by artillery. But for the moment, I'm going to be happy with this. Map and vision control. For the moment, we have the castle. The castle is important. You would like to have it. You don't want to bleed a bunch of hit points getting there or a bunch of tanks, and it can be counter pushed. So look what just happened. We just lost a bunch of hit points. Guys trying to get up in there. I do spot their grill, so their grill is hanging out on their hill. So I've decided to be aggressive. I'm going to come around here. Why am I doing this? Well, number one, the 100's up there, right? I haven't seen the Mana Corps. A little bit concerned about that guy right now, but we're just going to come around here and we're going to see if we can't get a little bit more forward. Now we are grabbing more what you would call map and vision control. Now this is the dangerous bush I was talking about, guys. Potentially the other Mana Corps being right there might have lit me immediately, and then I'm going to have to try to E&E my way out of this thing. But for the moment, we're in good shape. We don't see him. I don't want to knock down that little tree because that might let somebody see that somebody's futzing around in these bushes. and we're now controlling. So the north is doing fine. It doesn't look like we're losing, although we do have a few less tanks there. I'm trying to get some lights for the team. And now it's just a bit of a battle of attrition. Now, more map control is gathered up by the Centurion AX. And I am now starting to see vision control / map control wise. It's not map control because I'm not stopping them from moving around, but I'm lighting them as they move around back in the back. And that's very bad for them. So if they try to flex or rotate or whatever you want to call it, reposition, I'm seeing a bunch of that. And that's going to be irritating. You've been on that team where you know someone's close and you can't even move around in the back. Look how much map we've grabbed. Doesn't mean we can necessarily hold it yet, but for the moment, we're in really good shape in terms of how much map we own, the view that we have on the map with our scout here and the rest of our tanks, and how we're doing in the entire game. We've killed one of their tanks, but this is not a Rumpelstomp yet. However, we've set up a great situation for crossfires and making it really difficult for the enemy team to do anything. I'm not going to come out of this, guys, with a scout patrol badge and 10,000 spotting or combined or anything like that. It's actually a relatively mediocre game. But in terms of what I'm able to give to my team and in map control, vision control, and spotting, at least at this point, and knowing where they all are, is kind of invaluable. The Centurion, I just mentioned, grabs some map control. One of the reasons he can do that, guys, is there's no artillery. You do that, what he's doing with a couple artillery, he probably doesn't last very long, fellas. They're going to bomb the living snot out of him. He's going to have a really hard time staying unlit right there. There's no bushes to sneak into. But hopefully that's in his mind that he's thinking, well, there's no artillery, so I can get up here and I won't get bombed. And based on the map control that my Mana Corps has given me and all the lights I have, I think I can get up there and cause these guys issues. And that's exactly what he does. He absolutely causes them issues. So I need to watch the T95E6, the 113, and the Concept 5, and I don't know where the Mana Corps is. I'd love to find him. So for the moment, I'm kind of in a passive situation, just holding this vision control right here. There, down goes their 268-4. That's very nice. Ooh, the Mana Corps. Well, isn't that very interesting, guys? Horrible play by their Mana Corps, to be honest, and their T100, although, well, the T100's alive. T100, maybe you go up there and you contest the castle, and if you get a couple buddies, you could probably do some good work because that's kind of a combat light. So I don't have a huge argument with that. I don't know what this Mana Corps is doing, fellas. He has completely left his team vulnerable to what I'm doing right here. And now that I know where he is, I absolutely love this because he's not going to pop up here anytime soon. Absolutely not. Now let's watch what happens here because I think maybe one of their light tanks sort of starts to figure it out. So Gobi, the Mana Corps, looked like he was moving towards me, so I've got to watch that. These guys are not interested in popping up on that ridge because they keep getting lit. There goes their Mana Corps, okay? So I see him moving across. Boy, if you're in a Mana Corps and you move through that area right there, you have to know there's a scout really close, all right? And then T100, he gets lit, and he has to know there's a scout real close. And this is where I get concerned. Watch this. He's going to turtle up behind that building, and I'm moving my hole so I can run away. There goes their grill. Grill's like, this sucks. I'm getting out of here. He has to know someone's close, right? He just got lit way back on the red line. That's as far back as he can get, and somebody lit him. Their Mana Corps, I don't know what this move is, to be honest. He goes in after the Centurion and tucks up underneath there. I don't have a shot on him, so he's sort of proxy lighting the Centurion. I guess he's sort of counters to some extent the Centurion not being able to poke over without being immediately seen. I don't know if I'd do that with a scout, guys. This is probably not the time of the game to do that. If I was him, I might have got up in these bushes on the ridge or come over here and investigated, and maybe I can find this other Mana Corps that's bugging the living piss out of my team. But he makes that choice, so good on him. And then check it out. The T100 is coming up, and I think he knows what's up. So I kind of back out of this. I'm like, I don't want to get proxy lit. But he is, I don't know what he's doing. Let's see if we can see this. Is he, he's not in the bush. So he's down low because he doesn't want to come too high. Otherwise he gets hit by my camper sitting up here. But he is absolutely spotted by the CS63 who continues to take shots at him. And boom, he takes a hit, shoots back at the CX. I considered YOLOing in, but let's talk about that, guys. Is it really the time to YOLO in and kill the T100? It's very tempting to kill him, but look how many guns are left, guys. There's a 110E4, a Bat Chat. The grill, I don't know where he went. Looks like he's pretty far away. The Mana Corps even could spin around and shoot. I have a 780 and a 113 BO up there in the road. I'm not feeling it. I don't think it's time. And I think the 63 has shots on this guy. Look at this, fellas. I've only got 174 assists, right? You'd look at that result so far and go, wow, we haven't really done a whole bunch. But in terms of map and vision control on this map, the things we've been able to do have been absolutely brutal for the enemy team. They just can't react very effectively to anything. And you can see that the slow bleed is starting for their team. Now I'm thinking about moving up here pretty quickly. I'd love to kill this Mana Core if I could. I would take that shot and back down if I could do that. But he's hiding out behind there. And you can see that our LT and two of our mediums have pushed up on those guys. So I need to get up there and put some pressure, but I'm still worried about the 780. Talk about this for a second, folks. I think I can get to this bush line and maybe start burn through, but I'm pretty sure nobody's coming up and over this. I think every time they get up on the ridge, I'm seeing them. But I could get closer, maybe catch something out, get a shot on it, see what's going on. Or I could tuck up underneath these guys. I'd love to do that, but I have the Mana Core who could shoot me, and I'm still worried about the 780 and the BO. So discretion at the moment is a better part of valor. And I'm thinking, all right, where's that guy? He's right there. Notice I'm getting a little bit concerned about the castle because the CS63 is holding on, but he is not. He does not have a lot of hit points. So move up here. We don't see anything. I'm going to get into this bush just a little bit better. Okay, there's the 780. Our guys in the north, you keep an eye on all the flanks. The guys in the north are doing well. Notice that the bleed for the enemy team, you can start to feel the steamroll is picking up speed here. And they just can't maneuver on the map. There's no place they can go really that's very useful that they can't either be shot or seen. Again, I'm thinking about it. If they can kill the Mana Core, all right, great. Let's go. All right. And then as I go out in the open, I get lit. This guy actually hits me, which is a bummer, but okay, that's fine. I had hit points to give. Their Mana Core's dead. Their 110 eats it. And just like that, because of the spotting, I gather 2,064 assists. Again, it's not going to be the world's greatest game in terms of stats, but in terms of a match that is all about vision and map control, this is a great example right here. So 780, I was worried he might come around. All right, he didn't do it. All right, do I want to pop up here and then get shot in the back by the 780? I do not. Let's go around this way. Bat chat. 100 LT dies. We'll shoot him. Nice. What? Shot just, I don't know. I don't know. The Udez. Full hit point Udez. Tries to get a shot. Watch this. All right, let's get a shot on him. Boom. Oh, I got him. 364 low roll. Get him tracked. A little bit more assist. You got to love it. I was going for the track both times on that. 3,000 assists, 364 damage. Clean up on aisle 2. We'll just swing around here. Watch this. I think this is a clean miss as well. Let's just watch what happens here. Terrible shot. Right into the ground. All right. Sort of expected the Grillet to be sitting there ready to shoot me, but notice he's way around the corner up on that hill. He was trying to stem the bleeding on the other flank. Plus he kept getting lit, so he just rotated over to the other side. And it's just absolute romple at this point. 364 damage. I actually get one kill here because we're going to get a... Finally, the pixels are in my favor here on the kill on the Grillet. Foch comes in, hits him once. I don't really know. I guess he was out of... No, he did hit him twice. Never mind. So we get a little tiny bit of damage, 65 damage, and a kill for 429 damage, 2,935 assist. Not really anywhere near the top of the lists on this match in terms of the result. But a great example. I didn't talk too much about it in the north. Map control was held by just winning that flank. There's not a whole lot of hiding that goes on in the north part of this map, other than maybe where the TDs can sit, and that's what the Grill was doing over here. There's a couple opportunities there, and the other side has some opportunities as well. Not a great spot really for scouts. If we'd have cleaned up this area and had a stalemate on the southern flank, I could have come over there, sorry, northern flank. I could have come over there and maybe done some work as a scout, but it was unrequired because the heavies did a fantastic job as well. So, got the castle. That gives us map and vision control to some extent, certainly map control of the middle. Positioning for me on the light tank, really sorting out the vision and somewhat map control down in the southeast of the map. The guys on the sniper hill did not YOLO out there. Scouts played pretty poorly in terms of how to counter what I was doing right there. And nice job by the Centurion AX getting in there and giving us some more map and a little bit of vision control as well. And you just that slow squeeze just really strangled that team. There was no way for them to react, to get their act together, to counter anything we were doing based on what we controlled and how poorly their scouts played. And plus they lost the castle. Again, the castle's important. It's great to grab it, but if you bleed too many hit points or tanks and they're able to counterattack it, then you didn't hold it. So there's a couple maps like that with similar situations where it's nice to get positions like that, but sometimes you pay so dearly for it, it doesn't really help you at the end of the day, and it can be counterattacked. In this case, no way for them to do it. We had vision on it. We had the snipers back there to stop anything they were going to do. All right, there you go, Scout Week. Just wanted to talk a lot on this one about vision and map control. And even when you're playing a scout, you're not necessarily racking up those 10, 15, 90,000 assist games. You can still play a really important part in the game by being in the right spot and providing the information and the vision to your team. All right, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you.